Hi, in this video you will learn how to make a peg. In this video you will learn some basic features such as extrude and chamfer, and you will also learn how to change the color, the name of the part, as well as the color of the part. So let's get started. As you can see here, I am on my Onshape home screen, and in this Onshape home screen there will be a blue button called Create. I'll click on the Create button to reveal this pop-up. In this pop-up, I'm going to click on the Document button to create a document. I'm going to name my document Peg Part 1. So after I've named my document, I'm going to click the blue OK button. After I've clicked the OK button, this workspace should appear. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to determine my sketch plane, or what plane I'm drawing my peg on. So I decided to draw on my top plane. Now, as you can see here, this entire workspace looks a bit messy. So I'm going to hide a couple of planes so I can only focus on the top plane. How I'm going to do that is by coming to this tab right here. In this tab, there are three options called top, front, and right. What I'm going to do here is whenever I hover over every option, I'm going to see a eye symbol. This eye symbol means if it's visible or not. I don't want them to be visible, so if I click on the eye symbol, as you can see, the plane automatically disappears, or doesn't disappear, but it just hides. So I'm going to do the same with the right plane so I can just focus on the top plane. Now that I've focused just on the top plane, I'm going to create a sketch on the top plane. As you can see here in my toolbar, I have a sketch button here, which I'm going to click. And as you can see, the sketch appears red. This is because the program doesn't know what plane to sketch on. So obviously, since we deemed that we were sketching it on the top plane, I'm going to click on the top plane so that we can sketch on the top plane. This is kind of diagonal, and I want it so that I can focus exactly on the top plane. I can just see the top plane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and then um, go down in the pop-up and click on View Normal to Sketch Plane. After I click on that, this should appear. This is where I can actually start sketching without any interferences from just the view part. So as you can see, as soon as I clicked the sketch button, a whole new toolbar appeared. So in this whole new toolbar, I'm going to select the circle button and make sure that it's on center point circle, not 3-point circle or ellipse. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the circle button. And as you can see here, there's a black dot. I'm going to click exactly on the black dot and drag out. What this is going to do is it's going to create a circle. When I click on the outside of the circle, it's going to confirm the creation of the circle. So what I can see here is that my dimensions aren't quite right. This is not the dimension I want. So then what we're going to do is we're actually going to change our workspace units. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the top left screen next to the Onshape logo and click on the hamburger sign. When you click on the hamburger sign, this pop-up should come down and you should click on the workspace units. When you click on the workspace units, this should appear. When you click on this, you should be able to change your default length unit to meters. When you click on, millimeters, meters would be too big. So when you click on millimeters, you can click the green check button to confirm. So after you've confirmed, we see that we've exited Sketch 1. So how we're going to re-enter Sketch 1 is we're going to go to this tab again, where now that we've created the sketch, we're going to be able to see a section called Sketch 1. We're going to right click on Sketch 1 and click on Edit. It's going to be underneath Rename. I'm just going to click on Edit. So now we've officially re-entered the sketch. Now that we've re-entered the sketch, let's make our dimensions correct. As you can see here in this toolbar, let's click on the dimension section. So once we click on the dimensions, we're going to click on the blue outline and drag out and make it 14 millimeters. Just once you've typed in 14, click enter to confirm the remeasurement. As you can see here, as soon as we clicked enter, this entire thing shrunk because again, we readjusted the measurements. So what you're going to do is you're going to zoom in, and after you zoom in, you're going to be able to perfectly see the sketch. So you may have noticed that the outline of the circle has turned black instead of blue. The reason for that is because now it is constrained. What a constraint means is that it has a certain restriction on it. The restriction for this one is the measurement. So since we're done with the measurement, we are confident we can exit the sketch. We're done with the sketch, so we're going to go to the top left corner and click on the green check button. What this does is it confirms us exiting the sketch. After this, you can see that we are done with the sketch. So what we're going to do now is we're going to extrude this. So how we're going to extrude this is we're going to go to the toolbar and click on the extrude button, which looks like a cube and a gray cube. So when you click on it, again, it's going to turn red because it doesn't know what to extrude. So we're going to select the circle that we just drew and make sure we're in the new tab and we selected the correct face, which is the face of sketch 1. Make sure we're on blind and make sure our depth is 25 millimeters. After we confirm that all of the dimensions are correct, we're going to click the green check button to confirm the extrusion. After this, what we're going to do is we're going to check if it actually did extrude by going into the isometric view. How I did this was there is a gray cube over here, which represents the camera and render options. When we click on it, there should be the 3 views that you can be in. I clicked on the first view, which was isometric, and as we can see, there was a perfect extrusion. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create the bottom part of the peg. So how we're going to do that is we're going to change our view. We're going to change from top view all the way down and change it to bottom view. How I did this was in the top right corner there should be this cube which shows you what view you're on. So what I did was I actually clicked the bottom button to shift it from the top to the bottom because we're constructing it on the bottom of the peg. So now that I'm on my bottom, I'm going to just zoom in a bit. And after I've zoomed in, I'm going to create a sketch on it because I want to create the bottom part branching off of the part of the extrusion. So I'm going to click the face of the extrusion. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our handy dandy toolbar again and click on the circle and draw a circle. So I'm just going to draw a random circle, no dimensions, you don't need to be perfect, and then click to confirm it. As you can see, that's not the dimensions I want. So again, we're going to go to the dimension button, click on the blue circle, drag out, and click to edit the dimension. I'm going to make this circle 8 millimeters. And again, click enter to confirm the dimension. As you can see, we know that the dimension has been applied because the circle has turned black, which means it's constrained now. So now that we are done with the sketch, we can exit the sketch by clicking the green check button. After we've clicked the green check button, I'm just going to click on the extrude button to extrude this off again, to extrude the bottom part. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the extrude button again, obviously, and then I'm going to make sure that I'm going to click on the add tab. I'm going to click on the add tab and click on the circle that we drew on the bottom face. So that should appear as the face of sketch 2. And the reason why we clicked add was that we don't want to create a new part of the peg. We want to create it so that the second part of the peg is branching off of the first peg. That's why we chose add. So then we're going to change the depth of the extrusion to 6 millimeters. So once we click 6, we can click the green check button to confirm the extrusion. Then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that it's been properly extruded. So we're going to go to the camera and render options, click on it, and click isometric. Okay, so we have our peg. But before we call this done, we have a couple more steps. As some of you may or may not know, a peg often has a sort of a rounded edge, which we're going to achieve with a chamfer. So in this toolbar, you're going to see these two options. One is fillet and one is chamfer. The difference between the two is that chamfer creates beveled edges, whereas fillet creates constant variable fillets with circular or conic curvatures. So it creates this sort of, let's just see the difference by actually doing them. So first I'm going to start off with fillet, which is something we're not supposed to do. And we're going to click, and we're going to click the radius to 2. Once we click the green check button, this is how it's going to be appearing. So if you notice carefully, this has sort of a domed edge. So let's try and undo the fillet by going to this toolbar here, right clicking, and clicking delete. So we're back to this. Now let's click on chamfer and see what happens. I'm going to click on the top circle and click on 2. Uh-oh. Excuse me. So there was a chamfer already done there, so we're going to click here and we're going to click chamfer. So when we click chamfer, we're going to do is we're going to make it 2 millimeters. So when we click the green check button, it's not a curved edge, it's more of a crisp edge. So that's sort of the difference between fillet and chamfer. So if you want more rounded edges, you should use fillet. Well, if you want more slanted edges, you should use chamfer. So that concludes the construction of the peg, but we still have a couple more things to do in the parts area, so which is the bottom part of this tab. As you can see here, when I hover over part, it highlights the peg. I don't know that it's actually the peg. So what we're going to do is we're going to name this part 1 peg. We're going to right click on part 1, click on rename, and as you can see here, you have the opportunity to rename it. I'm going to rename mine Peg. Very authentic name, I know. So after to confirm it, I'm just going to click out of the box and it's renamed. So now what I want to do is I want to change the material of a peg. I know that a lot of pegs are made out of wood, so I'm going to right click on peg and click on assign material. When I click on Assign Material, you're going to be able to go to the Library tab, and in the Library tab, you're going to see the Onshape Material Library, and under that, there's going to be a drop-down. I'm going to click on the drop-down and type in wood. When I type in wood, all of the types of woods should pop up. I want to choose birch. So since I've chosen birch, I'm going to click the green check button to confirm the assigned material. Then what I'm going to do is I think this is kind of bland. I don't like the color of this peg. It doesn't really look like wood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and search up the color of birch. Birch bark. Or wood, sorry. So when I search up the color of birch wood, it's this nice tan color. So as you can see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here, right click it, and click on Edit Appearance. When I click on Edit Appearance, I want to see a nice tan color. So out of these given options, I'm going to go and click on this color. See, it's a nice tannish color. I think it sort of looks like birchwood. So I'm going to confirm it. So there you go. Now you have a wooden peg, which is the color tan. Congratulations, you've learned how to create a peg. So if you have any questions about this peg, please be sure to comment. down below. And before you go, this is sort of a fun project for people who want to sort of calculate using Onshape. This is not something that you like, it's really helpful in terms of area and volume calculation. So, what you can do is down here, you should be able to see the show measure details. When you click on that, it's going to ask you to select entities to measure. So, what you're going to do is you can click on any part and it's going to tell you the area of it. Since I selected this a flat 2D surface, it's telling me the area. But when I select this part, when I select the cylinder part, it's going to tell me the area, the diameter, and the radius, which is awesome. And then I can select any entity and it'll tell me the measure of it. It'll tell me the area, the diameter, the radius, everything. So that's it, folks. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments and I'll be sure to get to them as soon as possible. And thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you soon.